Who wants to tell me what happened last time?
Sandwich.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
We fought a bullet. Rin almost died. He was knocked unconscious, and it took quite a toll on his mental stability for several hours. We made it to the Tiefling village, the tribe of Headshot. We met Judge Tethrin. There was a big party. Rin ate some coffee beans, just shoved a handful or two in his mouth. Overall, it was a lot of celebrating. Oh, and the wizard threw down a fireball on the bonfire, so that was fun.
I actually forgot about that part. That was great. That was fun.
Also,
I definitely love. Go ahead.
Apparently, Guardian has more than one name because he introduced himself to the Tieflings as Ezekiel.
Oh yeah. I did do that.
I absolutely love the fact that we are chucking down Forge's inability to have any form of coherent thought to the fact that Rin was knocked unconscious in the fight.
He got hit so hard the hammer took damage. I attack your life points directly.
That actually did get discussed in game, at least
Yes.
meta conversation.
I do remember that, and it made me happy.
If nothing else, I can cover my ass well.
True. Years of experience, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
All right. So you guys are still in the Headshot village. The party in the previous night was quite a lot for all of you, but also for the denizens of the tribe. Morning has come, and there's very little movement in the village. You guys have the tent to yourselves. There's a small platter of flatbreads and different small sundries for your breakfast, but the morning is yours.
Darian's just going to read from his book for a while.
Fair enough.
Would anyone be interested in buying the boulette hide in this town?
Oh, in the village?
Yeah.
You can certainly look around to see if there's anyone who might want it.
Okay. I will ask around then.
Okay. Getting up and moving through some of the tents, it's about now that most of the people are getting up. Probably the one who is most active is a gentleman down in the gully who is directing a herd of sheep in their pen.
Okay.
He's a male tiefling, red-skinned, long horns, and dressed in mostly drab colors.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to my farm.
It's a very nice place you have.
It lets us survive.
Quite. You seem... Oh, God. Your life does not translate into stats.
You seem like you have a strong charisma bonus.
I hate that hat. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. You seem like you know what you're doing.
You seem like a capable person.
And you seem a little lost, my friend. Maybe this will help. My name is Ram. It is
Ram.
lovely to meet you.
Hi, I am Ezekiel. Tell me, I was wondering if you'd be interested in some trading. I have had.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Certainly. What do you have?
We ran into some troubles on our way to this lovely village of yours. We encountered a boulette, as it were.
A nasty beast.
Quite. Almost lost one of ours.
I have
Shut up.
lost a total of about 7 sheep to one.
I am sorry.
It is life in the desert.
As it were. As it happens to be, we have procured some of its hide. I was wondering if you'd be interested in trading for some supplies for our journey home. In exchange for it.
What part of the hide do you have?
DM.
You guys were able to pull the main back plate, or I guess crown, of the bullet, which is a decent size, probably the size of about a tower shield sort of thing.
Oh.
Beg pardon?
The armored part.
Yes, the armored part,
The fleshy
as well as a few smaller plates.
Okay. I don't. They are back in our wagon at the moment, but I have. I believe they refer to it as the crown of the beast. Some other bits and pieces from other sections, the chest region, things of that nature. The chest would
The
probably,
nipple plate.
the crown would probably be the most impressive.
The crown would probably be the most useful as well. Well, it depends on what you're looking for trade. I have some skins. I have lots of wool. I have a little bit of lamb if you're looking for just provisions.
What hides do you have?
Mostly just sheep and goat hides, thin leathers, things of that sort.
Might I look at your leathers?
Certainly. He opens the gate and walks out and around to a small lean-to hut that is placed against the stone wall. Inside, he's got a few different racks of full pelts and leathers, already tanned and cured. Decent amount of actually pretty good leather.
Okay. These are quite fine hides you have. They would be
We
great
do our
material.
best out here.
Would you be interested in trading for some of these if I were to bring it to you?
I will have to assess the condition of the pieces, but yes, no,
course,
I
of
would
course.
certainly be able to use something of that sort.
Wonderful. Well, I shall bring it by in a few hours.
I look forward to trading with you.
Very well. And I head back to the tents.
All right. Go ahead and make a bartering check. So that would probably be your persuasion or intimidation.
Oh, let's see how far I can throw my d20 across the room. What was it? What was my options?
Persuasion or intimidation.
I don't know if I'd want to intimidate him, but it's the same.
It's
so we're
up
gonna
to
go
you.
Persuasion. Total of 16.
Okay. You're able to get a pretty fair trade on the pieces. Go ahead and replace your boulette pieces with probably almost 100 gold worth of leather.
Okay. And then with that, I thank him and bring the supplies back to the wagon and load them all in.
Safe travels, my friend.
To you
Let
as
us know
well.
if you need anything else.
I appreciate your hospitality. Thank you.
What are the rest of you doing?
Liberty's making coffee. No surprise there.
Rin is probably tending to his equipment.
He's
All right.
eating more beans. They taste a little bitter.
About an hour after he leaves, Darian does return to the tent with quite a few pelts of leather.
Ah, Ezekiel, I see you have returned.
Is it? Oh, right. Yes, I have. I
You
went
know,
and
a
took
fake
the
name helps if you
liberty
remember it.
of. Oh, excuse the pun. Um, the initiative, I should say. And I went and traded the plates of the boulette for some various leathers from one of the. Uh, I don't want to say natives. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Denizens.
Locals?
Denizens. That sounds good. One of the locals.
Just a quick point of note: a fake name helps if you remember it.
Wait, are you still in the room or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
still
saw
there.
Okay, I didn't know if
never
that was
left.
out of character or not.
Yeah,
So that was
I'm still working on my
Liberty.
character voice.
Yeah, I know. It threw me. I'm just used to you having a very distinct voice. Right. Yes.
Ezekiel.
And is your name truly Rin?
Yes.
Well, fine, be that way. I
And if it wasn't, you'd never know because I can remember my fake names.
Yes, I tend to. I just forgot that she remembered that.
You
I-
have a name for humans and another name for tieflings?
not in as many words. I would say that the last couple days have been quite eventful, and I have a reputation to uphold in the city. Freeing indentured servants is not what I would call not exactly unfrowned upon in the city walls.
I just want to point out there was nothing indentured about those particular servants.
Quite, which is why we took the appropriate measures we did. But
Do you take such actions often, sir?
I think what I do in my personal time and what you do in your personal time are not fully disclosed, generally speaking. You
All right, Ezekiel.
He's enjoying this far too much.
Hmm.
I mean, I may have given them a fake name, but at least they have seen my face.
They have seen my face.
I was addressing Liberty. But I should rephrase the sentence because they have seen.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
her scarf and stuff fell off while dancing.
Yeah. But still not enough to tell,
Well, no,
allegedly.
at this point, after the party last night, sitting inside the tent, she's got the scarf down so that you can see her face.
Right, but it's still
It
not
is
obvious.
not uncommon for a woman to protect her skin from the desert sun.
Of course. And there is nothing uncommon for a man of good reputation to protect that understanding and
Yes, there is.
notoriety.
Also, well, both of you are wrong because A, there's no desert sun to protect from at night, and B, men in good standing have no need to protect their identities.
Many in good standing do not perform in the line of work I perform in.
Okay, Ezekiel.
You are having too much
I'm
fun
here
over there.
What a man of good standing would do that brings him so much experience with free tieflings, as you mentioned yesterday.
I have experience in trading, bartering, shall we call it? Acquisitions of sorts.
You know, you can just say you're a thief.
Well, I would not call myself a thief.
Most thieves wouldn't.
A reasonable response.
Ezekiel.
Are you quite done over there?
No, not at all.
Of course. Well, I think we should be leaving soon. If we wait too long, it will be nightfall before we return.
Oh no, don't stop. It was quite interesting from this side.
Yes, and we wouldn't want to get a moon burn.
The voice comes from the corner. Slim Shady has been sitting in a pile of cushions, just watching the whole interaction with a huge grin on his tusked face.
I hate you so much.
I love him.
I panicked because I didn't know who he was doing the voice for.
I love him.
I keep legit. I've forgotten twice now that he exists.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
At least you haven't mistaken him for a gnome.
That one's over my head, but yes.
But yes, don't worry about it.
Listen,
Fortunate-
at the beginning, I very much thought Jacob had said he was a gnome, or Bongo had
A
said.
Goliath.
It was a gnome. It was the NPC bard that you kept thinking
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a
No, I thought I
even though
could
the
have sworn
DM told
Bongo
us
said
multiple times he was human.
I could have sworn Bongo said he was a gnome, and then Bongo said he wasn't a gnome, and I'm like, you know what? No, he's a gnome. And through the power of sheer willpower, I will make him a gnome.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Very literally.
Indeed.
And then his character referred to like every other person as a gnome except for our gnome.
But
Yep.
you are not wrong. We should probably be leaving within the hour.
Indeed, I should be going back to the city.
I am heading back to the city. I don't know what you all are doing. Should this be discussed before we leave?
Oh, you're making a question. Sorry, you said it like a statement, so I decided not to respond. Yes,
Questions just
yes,
ends.
I am always this frustrating.
Um,
You are allowed to be that frustrating when you are that good at your own job.
Indeed.
well, I shall return to Corizo. Aside from that, I intend to go about my business as always.
I hear they make good chorizo there.
Chorizo and Corizo?
Yeah.
Completely different cultures, you guys.
But the rhyme was too good.
That's a lie. That is how I
Completely different
remembered the name of the
words, but
city,
okay.
though.
Yeah. I mean,
That's great.
also, if we're going to get realistic, the real spelling of chorizo is chorizo. But I didn't do that because that's a food.
Delicious.
He was
food.
hungry when he was world building.
Do you
My-
all have a place to lie low in chorizo? Or
Of course.
I intend to go home.
I can usually find a way to avoid attention back in the city.
Mm.
well, I leave your fates in your own hands. Though I will say that if you need to, actually no, I'll say that for when we're a bit closer, so that it is easier to remember for the future.
The DM will maybe remember that.
The DM has notes.
Excellent. Also, Meta, I know where you're wanting to go with this. I just don't know how to organically invite them home.
Hey man, you can also just organically invite them home. That's up to you. You don't have to.
Rin is also fully capable of inviting himself to your home.
As far as I know, Liberty's really a vampire. I don't know.
I can neither confirm nor deny. The DM has been very lenient with homebrew in the past.
Fair point. Fair point.
I actually have. That's not false.
Hello, cat. What do you want? I am playing D&D.
Pets.
Well, if we are going to be leaving, we should probably warn the elder of the village that we are to depart soon. I will go get the horses ready.
Very
And
well.
Yerk stands and begins to exit the tent.
Will anyone else accompany me to see him?
Yes, I can. I would like to give my farewells as well.
Okay. Shall we? After you?
We shall.
As you all step, as you all step out of the tent, where are you all going?
Find the judge.
Okay. Are you all going to find the judge, or is just Liberty going to find the judge?
I was going. I just don't know names.
Okay.
We should look
Um,
Judge Tethrin.
He is not difficult to find. The tent, pretty close to yours. He's sitting outside of. The gray-skinned tiefling sits cross-legged in front of his tent with a steaming cup of some form of liquid in his hand. Ah, welcome, honored guests. What can I do for you?
Go ahead,
Choose to.
Ezekiel.
We wanted to thank you for your hospitality and to let you know that we are planning to head out within the hour.
I understand. I will make sure to have a guide show you out of the cavern. It is little treacherous if you do not know where you are stepping.
Thank you. That is greatly appreciated. Would you also point me in the direction of Grata? I'd like to say goodbye to her and her sons as well.
Saying the name, almost as if summoned, the flaps of the tent open and Grata steps out. Ah, I am glad to see that you all have come to say your goodbyes.
Yes.
Grata?
We cannot thank you enough for what you have done for me and my family. And I wish you all great blessings on your travels and in your journeys ahead.
I'm glad we could help.
Mm.
Of course, I'm just glad to see you and your family safe again.
If there is ever anything that we or the tribe can do, if you are able to get a hold of us, do not hesitate to do so.
Thank you.
The exchanging of courtesies is had. They bid you farewell and blessings as they both walk you down towards the cart. On the way down there, Judge Tethrin does pull aside a younger man of the village and sends him off to find someone else. And as you all make it to the cart, you are met there not only by Slim Shady, but also by the lavender tiefling that you saw on your way in. Female, mid to late 20s, in what is probably one of the most armored outfits that you've seen in the group. A large sheaf of javelins hangs at her side, and on her shoulder you see a small, what at first looks like a small, strange piece of armor before it moves and you recognize an armadillo just hanging on her shoulder.
I love her so much.
Was this the armadillo?
do
that
not
we kicked
believe
out on the
we-
way in?
Yes, it is. To kind of tie that thread off, because I know I realized halfway through that that made no sense without context. She bows and says, "I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Kalik."
Pleasure to meet you, Kelly.
What?
Say again?
Pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you all as well. I will be showing you out of the caverns. I am the one who made most of the trails, so I should be able to find a way out.
Thank you.
By this time, a small crowd has gathered around you as you all begin to load up onto the cart, piling your new assortment of leathers and a few rations that are provided by the village itself. Judge Tethrin says in a loud voice, public speaking voice, "May the gods watch over you on your travels and be safe, my friends. You are always welcome back if ever you need aid."
And may they protect you and your tribe. Thank you again.
Yurk whips up the horses and turns the cart as the myriad of people that have gathered around hoot and holler and wave goodbye as they shout, and as you leave. Kalik sits in the front of the cart with Yurk as she shows you all the way out. And coming in, you didn't see many different branchings off of the main gorge, but on your way back, it becomes a lot more apparent that this area is practically honeycombed with caves and caverns. She makes sure to point you in the right direction, mostly actually following the crucifix-like structures that you saw on your way in. I assume no one has anything to say on the travel, or does anyone have anything they wanted to do?
Rin's whistling.
I to Liberty, and so what do you intend to do when you get back to the city?
Probably just continue as I have been, taking care of those I find along the way in the city.
And how do you go about that typically? What does that look like for you?
I wander from place to place, and when someone comes across my path that I can help, I do what I can to help them. Mostly the poor and those without homes.
I see. I appreciate that. That's very noble of you.
It is the least I can do.
Someone has to look out for the little man, as it were.
There are many, especially children, that are not given enough.
Did you say have not given or are not given enough?
Are not
Oh,
given enough.
okay. Yes, I have definitely come across my share of less fortunate who could use a helping hand. I don't know, and I am whispering a very hushed tones in this dialogue as I'm conversing with her. I don't know how I feel about the Rin character over there. He's done well, but he's not quite earned my trust. If you need a place to stay, as long as you don't draw attention, you can stay in the guest room at my place for a while if you wish.
That is a very And then I suffer.
Well, one has to look after another, yes. I am sure Rain could make you a wonderful pot of coffee.
I'm not sure how much I trust Rin's coffee. But
She is quite a good cook. I taught her myself.
wait, did you say
I said Rain.
Rin?
I said Rain.
Rin? Okay, I thought you were talking about
I would not
Rain.
trust Rain's coffee either.
Hey, Jacob, just real quick. We're still in the gorge, right?
You're still in the gorge, yeah.
Rin has started experimenting with. He's still whistling, but he's experimenting with the echoes coming off the gorge walls.
Oh no.
Okay. What are you experimenting? How so? What are you
He's
expecting the result of the experiment to?
Oh, nothing at all.
Provide.
He's just enjoying like sort of how like he's enjoying bouncing the sound around, basically.
Understandable. And the acoustics down here are wonderful.
Exactly.
Brothers of the mine, rejoice!
don't need to summon a pack of dwarves right now. Jumping back to the conversation now that I've heard you properly. And who is Rain? Sister? Daughter?
A daughter, in a way. I took her in when she was young. She has lived with me, her brother, of course, too, Zafir.
I see.
They've lived with me for, about a decade now, give or take.
They?
Yes, her and their brother, Zafir.
You know, I think I will take you up on your offer.
Wonderful.
From the front of the cart, you can hear the small mutterings between Kalik and Yurk as they have their own conversation, and as she points out different directions to move before she turns to you all, almost in an impetuous manner, and says, Yurk tells me that you all only met a few days ago. Is that correct?
No.
See, I thought as much. You all have banded together to bring back people of my tribe so quickly and so seemingly simply that I could not believe that you had only just met.
If you can.
Well, allow me to say that were there more people like the rest of you, the world would be a very different place. And I know the rest of the tribe has expressed their appreciation, but I would like to say for myself that what you did for Grata and her sons and for the rest of the tribe is incredibly uncommon to see in this day and age, and is very appreciated.
Question, because I realized
Yeah.
my mic was off. Kel, did you confirm or deny that we knew each other?
I kind of bullshitted.
Okay. So you said that we were all well established with each other?
Yes.
Okay.
But I said it in a sarcastic tone, so either could be true.
Okay. Because at the same time I said that it was true that we didn't know each other. Like at the same
Okay.
time, but since my mic was off and realizing you spoke at the same time, I'm just going to say that Darian started to say something and then you spoke and he stopped.
Works for me. Either way, that's still her response.
Your thanks are not necessary. I just would like chains.
Neither do many of us. It is a horrible sight to have. And I look forward to hearing about what all of you do from here on out, because, I mean, I have yet to hear of a group who actually free slaves instead
Liberty
of
is-
enslaving peoples that they find in the desert.
Liberty is very closely watching Darian's expressions in response to this conversation.
he Darian definitely like shifts his eyes a little and like weighs mentally before he responds. Yes, I would venture to say that is true. I would think that a group that is well known for doing such things, though, would be caught quickly. It is a dangerous lifestyle.
I feel that you are probably correct on that. It's just a pleasant surprise to see some good in people.
It is. We must all do our part.
You okay, Forge?
Is that going in character or out of character?
What?
Is there ever a difference with him?
Yes, there's a difference.
Everything is in character with him.
Rin sort of like chuckles a little bit, but stays quiet.
Darian notices.
Well, a few minutes later, you guys breach the edge of the cavern, and Kalik tells York to pull up the cart before hopping off herself and says, "Well, I wish you all good fortune in your travels. From here, you go that way for a few miles before angling a bit more to Corey, so as long as that's where you're headed, you should meet a road a few hours in."
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. May the gods protect
Blessings.
the way home.
May the gods protect you on your way home as well. And she begins to walk off as Yerk kind of just grunts and whips the horses back into a steady trot. As long as there's no other conversations that you wish to have on the road.
Well, now that it's gone,
These actions
Every-
have consequences.
Every time that Darian fucking starts talking to Rin, or like talks to Rin, Rin will respond like perfectly civilly and then say, "Ezekiel."
Sounds about right.
He is not letting that horse lie.
No.
that is going to be held over his head for the rest of his life.
I would hope that it wouldn't. The idea was to be discreet.
Everyone here in this cart has heard you use both names.
Yes. I trust that that ends with the cart.
What would you prefer that we call you when we leave the cart?
You may refer to me as that.
Ezekiel.
I am going to kill that man.
You may try.
Yeah, no, Liberty takes a moment to gauge both of them and is like,
You may even succeed. But I guarantee the last words off my lips will be Ezekiel.
I
I
will
really
hold
don't
you
want
to
that friend of yours haunting you for the rest of your life.
I will hold you to that then, Rin. Do not have help. I do not seek a quarrel.
Rin, I've been meaning to ask, and if this is too forward, forgive me. You displayed some very unusual abilities when we fought the bullet.
Oh,
I'm
heavens,
curious
so
who
forward
you
of you.
got them from.
Ooh, very forward. Ouch.
She is right though. Not only with the bullets, but the drunks was certainly interesting.
Yes. If you're going to ask an actual question, go ahead and ask it.
My mic might have come out. She asked who learned that magic from.
It's less of a who and more of a of what.
Like in the short
Indeed.
mind is not the book.
Could you explain this what?
You meet enough things out in the desert after you come out here a few times, you'll end up finding something that'll either kill you. Shit, I sound southern.
Rin is the cowboy of the group. It's
I
Karen.
believe the desert is getting to him.
Turning to Jack.
You come out in the desert enough, and eventually you find something that'll either kill you or make you stronger.
Indeed.
Well, that's not the best answer, but it is an answer.
Okay, Ezekiel. Let they without sin throw the first stone, Ezekiel.
I would venture to wager your sins are much greater than mine.
Yes, but I don't hide who I am.
Hmm. Yes, well. Mm. I'm debating about
Exactly.
making a racist remark.
Just keep in mind your company. Go ahead and do it.
I know.
Yes, make a racist comment to the tiefling assassin
mm,
right in front of his half-orc partner.
yeah.
Let's see just how good Ezekiel's situational awareness is.
He claims that he has a lot of experience with tieflings and how to avoid being offensive around them. Can he put that into practice around someone as irritating as Rin?
Again, I'm weighing the conversation out of character to decide what to do in character. This takes a bit of meta to decide.
We're all just enjoying the struggle.
I know.
Well, I hope you do it.
You can always roll for it.
The dice god does have a point.
I generally call it a wisdom save for whether or not you have the self-control to make a good decision.
I rolled an 11, so I mean that's about as middle ground as I'm gonna get too. So,
I'd say that's probably a wisdom check.
well, that's a +6. So,
A decent level of common sense.
yeah. It's also phrasing the sentence, just seeing how passively
this'll
clever
go
we can
well.
be. You know who you are. I know who I am.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, Rin, where do you plan to go after this? Once we get closer to the city.
No idea. My profession operates out of pretty much anywhere, so it matters not where exactly I go.
I'd imagine so.
All right. The cart becomes awkwardly silent as you guys continue to trek through the desert. Few hours later, you guys do end up making it to a traveled road, and travel becomes a little faster as Yerk can whip up the horses to a bit brisker of a pace, not moving over unmarked land. You do occasionally pass some traders and caravans and people of this sort as you are making your way towards a larger metropolis. Large caravans of camels and horses drawing carriages filled with silks and spices and other sundries that could be found in the city. A few hours later, you can even begin to see the outline of the split city farther down towards the coast and the thin ribbon of water that you can see of the ocean beyond. At this point, Yerk will pull the cart to the side and say, "Well, I don't know where all of you are headed, but we are getting closer to the city. If at this point, I will now be able to say that if ever you need me, ever again, you should be able to find me in the city. It may take a few steps, but if you go to the eastern part of the city, there is a shop called Subby's Skins. It is a tannery, and if you ask for me there, word can come to me, but they will not claim to know me.
Thank you. I will keep this in mind.
Ducky.
I would be happy to work with any of you again, especially you, Mr. Ghost. It has been a pleasure.
Indeed.
I am,
For a
however,
particular profession.
true enough. I am riding all the way into the city. If anyone is going all the way in,
Is he going to the city of Carrizo or to a nearby city?
no, he's going into Corizo.
Okay.
I suppose it depends on which Carrizo, because it is the split city.
True. Well, I live out of town of the city, so.
True.
I guess I could ride part way into the city and then we'll hop off and then we'll walk home.
All right.
Or
And Rin, what are you planning on doing?
I mean, I've got no reason to stick around, so I'll just go all the way in.
All right. Well, then in that case, I have to use the bathroom, so I'm thinking about taking a 5-minute break real
sure,
quick
go for it.
before we get
Ooh.
into this next part. Quick bathroom break for anyone who needs it. Be
Duh.
back.